This is Ramped Up.
And welcome to this week's edition of Ramped Up. I'm Parker Shumaker. Here alongside me is Adam Cheek. We got Brad Lofton and we got Sean Boyce. And like I said, this is Ramped Up, or as we're calling it on our special edition, the WVCW Draft. And I guess I will be the commissioner for this year's draft, and we're going to get started. And now on the clock, we have, with the first pick, Brad announcing the Browns pick. So, Brad, you are on the clock.
Tough choice.
So, as he's making his pick, guys, what do you think he's going to go with here? My prediction, I think that the Browns go quarterback first pick.
You know what? I'm going to second that idea. I really do think they're going to grab their guy because they know once they come back at 4, they're going to have probably their second pick, their second guy they would want. So why not just get him now and not worry about it?
And they can't fully rely on Tyrod either. They need someone to bring in the back.
Okay, the pick is in.
Ding, ding, ding.
Do we want to go over the formatting of this, how we're doing all this, Parker?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is each of us are in order, have the picks. Brad starting us off with the Brown pick. Each guy is going to be on the clock. They're going to get their pick. They're going to write it down, hand it to me, and I'm going to announce the pick. And then when my turn is up, we're going to have one of these guys jump up and announce my pick. So with the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Sam Darnold, quarterback, USC.
Shocker. Never saw that coming.
I think you should go there. He's the only
I
one.
agree. That's what I had number 1.
He's the only one that can deal with the garbage that Cleveland throws at him. Even though he's my 5th quarterback, I think he's the best fit there.
Yeah, well, your ranking of quarterback, we don't want to get that started.
So
we'll move on. And now on the clock is Adam with the New York Giants pick. Adam, you are on the clock. All right, guys. Sam Darnold off the board. First quarterback is gone. And ding, ding, ding. Quick pick here.
Pick is in.
The pick is in.
I'll throw money to go Barkley.
And the G-Men of New York select for the second pick. I'm just going to stand up. I'm not even going to sit down anymore.
Wow. Bold move. Let's see how it pays off.
Saquon Barkley, running back, Penn University.
He's a Cowboys
Penn
fan.
State.
Penn State.
Barkley's a good fit for them. They need a running back. They haven't had a star player in a while besides Eli, and they just need some power behind the line.
This Cowboys fan's getting nervous. He's sweating tears right now with putting that Barkley pick for the Giants.
I don't know. It definitely adds
just
another
doesn't
dimension
write it.
to their already dynamic offense. Just takes a little bit of weight off Eli's shoulders.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good pick. I'm going to sit back down. And
Well, that lasted long.
I think it's a good pick just because with what they already have and the chance of possibly picking up Des Bryant, because he did reject that 4-year deal from the Ravens. He's looking more for a 1-year max contract, which I think the Giants could offer him. Plus you have, Odell, Sterling, Dez possibly, Evan
Tight end,
Ingram,
Ingram, he's a
and
beast.
Barkley at the backfield. Eli has a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And they make one final push.
he's going to be in his wheelchair soon, so.
This is the push he would need to really get this done.
Similar to a situation almost with his brother in Denver. It's just this is the twilight years of his career, obviously dwindling down, and just you need to just take some of that weight off, a little bit less responsibility.
He's going to see the twilights under that O-line, so.
All
I
right.
agree.
And next up is me with the Jets pick. I am on the clock here for the 3rd pick in this year's draft.
All right, guys. So who do you think? What position do you think the Jets need the most?
I think
Quarterback.
I think he goes the 6th best quarterback in this year's draft with Baker Mayfield. That's my prediction.
That's 6 best. That is just quite a personal statement right there.
It's
Not factual at all.
It's facts.
But anyway, no, they're gonna be. I think it's gonna be Josh Rosen. I think the boy out of UCLA gets the nod.
There you go, and the pick is in.
So we have the secondary commissioner
Broadway
announcing the
Josh.
pick, and we have Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma,
I agree.
Heisman winner.
That's ridiculous.
I was going to do
He does not fit that system at all.
I think he's going to work out very well
I
in
co-
New York.
He-
Him and Terrell Pryor. I think he's going to be all right.
No, man. New York is just such a tough crowd. I really don't
I'm going
see
to sound
it.
like Mel Kiper for a second, but Todd, what are you doing?
And I think he fits the New York attitude.
I don't think he fits anywhere
But we're
else,
talking about a
really.
Jets team with no running game, not really big name
I didn't-
receivers.
Terrell Pryor.
Which is
Coming
why
off
you
of
need-
a tough year in a system he didn't fit.
and no running games, why you need a quarterback to lead them, which they don't have.
They have a decent. I mean, they're
McCown or Baker Mayfield?
McCown.
But
I would ride out with McCown.
I
They also
like
picked up
McCown.
Teddy Bridgewater.
And that's not
I
even-
think that
I forgot that.
they play through both of them before the 7th week of the season.
I don't know. I just think Baker. I think Josh Rosen's your guy.
I
Your
think
pocket
Rosen
style
would have been a
quarterback.
better fit. Like, I just think the New York style, and that's not even me hating on Baker, but I just think Rosen just fits better with that.
Baker's
team.
such a big personality. If he doesn't provide
And
results, they'll run him out.
I feel like Rosen would be similar to like Eli in New York, just kind of that quiet. He'll question things when he can.
Yeah,
but,
just a
like,
pocket guy. Definitely someone who's consistent.
Quiet. He isn't
Alright.
gonna get the headline every day like Baker.
All right,
He wouldn't
and
be
on the
looking for
clock
that
now is Sean Boyce with the Browns. 2nd pick of the 1st round, 4th pick in the draft.
We have 2 GMs for the Browns, so we'll hopefully.
Yeah, this is the entire NFL war room here. We're all making decisions.
May-
We're gonna send this video in to every single owner in the NFL just so they know what we think.
Sean
Because-
Conn, listen to your man. I'm gonna be picking for the Jaguars.
Yeah, Jerry Jones.
Paul Allen makes some smart picks, please.
I like what you did with the dog park in the Jaguars thing. Very smart move.
Let me tell you, Brandon Bean, I trust you fully and heartily. I trust the process. Whatever you do no wrong. But if we don't make the playoffs, you're fired. Anyway,
Trust
all right,
what the
so
12th man says.
I got my pick in
Ding, ding, ding.
for the Browns.
And the 4th pick for this year's draft, the Cleveland Browns select Bradley Chubb, defensive end, NC State. Very good pick here, I believe. This is exactly. I thought that this was going to be their 4th pick either way.
I think this is a no-brainer because you got Garrett last year on defensive end. This way you get 2 young bookend defensive ends, really get your pass rush there. And you're probably having for 4 years into this rookie deal, which will really solidify your defense.
Yeah, I think with the guys they brought in over the last 2 years, Peppers, Garrett, they bring in Bradley Chubb this year. They're really starting to round out that defense a little bit better.
Definitely. It'll definitely help their secondary. You get a couple rush passes their way. They might be able to make some plays with that safety out of Michigan from last year.
And now
Should
on
go
the
Peppers.
clock,
Go Peppers.
Very quick sidebar. If my pick is someone already on the board, I change it, right? I should change it. Okay.
Yes, it's a real draft. Sometimes you want your guy, and you get a little curveball thrown your way. You got to adjust.
And the Denver Broncos are now on the clock. And Mile High.
Rocky Mountain High. Rocky Mountain
I think they go
High.
quarterback here. I think they go with Rosen. I think that's the pick.
Rosen, you could do that, but I think you got a 2-year deal on Case Keenum, and from what I've heard from the leaking of the Denver Broncos organization is they're not quite done with that quarterback out of Memphis from 2 years ago. They want to see.
Paxton Lynch.
Yeah, Paxton
Yeah.
Lynch. Want to see if they can go ahead and maybe,
And the-
I don't know, coach him up a little.
I could see them taking a quarterback, but at the same time, they put a lot into Case Keenum, and they're
Listen,
relying a lot on. They have
They have
two
other
backups, I
needs.
think.
They have other needs. They
The
lost
pick
a
is
key to
in.
lead this past season, so
Oh, change up here. And I mean, it's something that nobody saw. With the 5th pick in this year's draft, the Broncos select Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker, Virginia Tech.
Wow.
ooh, I think that's a little bit of a reach. But
I
where does he
think-
fit in that system with Von Miller?
What? Miller's a dominant pass rusher. Edmonds can sit in more of the middle of the field, almost similar to a Telvin Smith and a Dante Fowler. Dante Fowler is a pass rusher for the Jags, while Telvin sits in pass coverage and gets all the tackles. I just think that's a good fit. You get Keenum with the quarterback there for a year or 2, and Lynch will probably be gone because he's got
No cornerback to replace Akeem Talib?
What?
No cornerback to replace Akeem Talib, who
You
left
have
for the Rams?
You have Chris Harris Jr. He's a number 1 corner just right there. They had 3 top 10 corners. They lost Talib, so I don't think it's that big of a deal at corner. The only thing they would need is a nickel corner. So I don't think there's no reason to go nickel that high.
I don't know, but in a passing conference, a conference where you face
What?
Phillip Rivers, Patrick Mahomes, and
you
Derek
can-
Carr
and
twice a
you can
year.
you can get a nickel back in the late runs in the draft. There's no reason to have 2 draft a nickel that high.
Tremaine Edmonds.
And Trey Edmonds gonna be a beast. And
He'll be a beast.
All right, so next up we have the Colts are on the clock. Adam, when you are ready, we will take your pick. Until then, we will argue.
I bet
Till the
you
end of time.
I bet you he goes Derwin James. I bet you he goes that.
No, I think we're going to go offensive line here. I feel you really got to protect your
Yeah.
investment with
Quentin
Andrew
Nelson.
Luck.
That's
Quentin
what I'm
Nelson,
thinking.
out of Notre Dame. He's a freaking beast. He loves to just beat people up every single play. He just loves to fight that defensive line. True lineman, something to lock down. And hopefully give him a little bit more running lanes for if
I know Raekwon Smith has been the buzz for the Colts GM right here, but we'll definitely see with this pick.
All right, the pick is in. Oh!
You probably can't read that.
Yeah, I can.
Oh.
All right.
We got Kamish.
And with the 6th pick in this year's draft, the Colts replace Frank Gore and get Sony Michel from Georgia.
Wow, that's a
I think
reach.
you gotta have a backup in the backfield.
That's a huge
Frank Gore's getting old.
reach. Frank Gore's not even on that team anymore. He retired.
Yep, he's gone.
Somebody's gonna.
He's so old, he's gone.
He's so old, he's not even around for
Well,
this
they still
draft.
need someone to back him up, or to back up the backfield.
Somebody's
And
gonna
replace
have a
him.
riot outside their fan base, and it's definitely gonna be the Colts. So
Let me see.
Indianapolis will burn to the ground.
I hope he has his home as a rent.
No, I do think that this he's not a pick that you would. I mean, you'd be mad he's gone so early. Like you took him so early, but I don't think that he's somebody that halfway through the season they're gonna realize he's not that bad because he's actually I think he's the second best dual threat running back in this draft.
He's a great running back, and they definitely need a running game. But it's just there's a lot of depth at running back, and I feel they have more pressing needs than running back right now.
I actually had Bradley Chubb going to the Colts, but switched my picks once.
That's true.
He
I
went
see
to the
that.
Browns.
Limited value right there with that.
All right, and I am on the clock with the Bucks.
Ooh, I like this. I
Let's
think
see.
the Bucks are maybe 1 or 2 pieces away from making a little noise in the NFC South. That's a tough division to get out of with Drew Brees
Absolutely.
and Matt Ryan.
And Cam Newton to a degree.
Sean, may I receive the draft marker?
For sure, my guy.
Thank you, my dude.
It says Sean who didn't help to give.
So
the
who do
marker.
y'all think he's gonna do with the Bucks? I think he does go Derwin James. I said that for the Colts pick, but
Derwin James, he's just a solid guy coming out of Florida State. I mean, they definitely need someone to be there at strong safety. So, and definitely improve that defense a little. So hopefully
That
James
Florida
gets some
State-
turnovers.
Jameis Winston, Florida State, Buccaneers, same colors. I feel that Florida State mix right here.
I'd either go.
I think he's gonna go.
I'd go running back or I'd go defense because
Running
they
back
lost.
this early?
They lost Doug Martin, right?
Yeah, I lost Doug Martin, but
Yeah.
there's so much depth. You don't need to address this in the first.
Or
I don't
defense,
know.
yeah.
I feel the days of drafting running backs in the first, especially in the top 10, is just incredibly rare.
They have to be a talent like
Once in a generation.
Barkley.
Yeah, like Barkley. Yeah.
ding ding ding. The pick is in, and like you said, they have to help with that. They have to help with that defense and protecting in a passing division.
Oh, absolutely.
Dang, I wasn't expecting this. With the 7th pick in the NFL draft, the Buccaneers select Denzel Ward, cornerback, Ohio State.
Spot
Yeah,
higher
go
than I had.
corner.
Yeah,
That's-
him and Vernon Hargraves side by side. I think it'll be a duo to be reckoned with down in Tampa.
That'll be pretty neat. I like that pick a lot, actually.
And I think it'll add a lot of attitude to that Bucks defense, something they really need.
You need attitude in that. You know,
Yeah.
to get such good passers. You want them to be scared. You want a little swagger on that field.
Yep, and next up on the clock now is Sean Boyce with the Chicago Bears.
Not
I
the
found,
Chicago.
I found the sound effect.
The Bears.
The
The
Bears.
Bears. The Cubbies. The Cubby Bears.
Oh my goodness. What do I draft here? All the guys who I thought they would draft are already gone.
Well, I mean, Trubisky needs a weapon. Maybe Calvin Ridley falls.
I think that's way too high of a pick.
I mean, true, but he needs a weapon.
Should I use this sound effect to our advantage?
Who stole my pen?
Oh, I did.
Come on, man. Can't hide that for me.
These GMs just can't keep stealing their pens like how they keep stealing their picks.
The meetings are very violent when many pens get stolen. So who's on the clock? The Bears?
Yeah,
the
Bears
Bears.
on the pick.
Ah, Bears.
The Bears.
Who do y'all think they go?
I don't think they're gonna pick it, but I think that they give Trubisky a weapon and they go with Calvin Ridley in this year's
I
draft.
bet you he goes Raekwon Smith, linebacker.
I have Darius
Georgia.
Guice. I have Darius
Georgia.
Guice moving down one and going as running back.
Georgia.
Wait. Bears running back?
They got one of the best running backs in the
We
league.
got a great running back. We
What?
got 2 great running backs.
Jordan Howard. And they
Yeah.
got Cohen.
Oh.
Tariq Cohen. He's a
Yeah,
beast.
Tariq Cohen's a
Well,
beast.
Denzel-
Adam loves running back guys.
He
Just leave him
loves-
alone.
He's like running back, running back, running back. Every team needs a running back.
If
Denzel
Adam
Ward
Which is
was
kind of
taken.
true.
Well, I
If-
mean it is, especially if you're a Seahawks fan. You gotta
if
have your
Adam
mind
was
set.
drafting a team, all of his picks would be running back.
I had
It'd be
a-
first round, second round, third round, fourth round, and all of his conditional picks.
I had Denzel Ward originally going to the Bears, but
Denzel Ward is off the board.
yep. So I
He
just
fell one
moved
pick
guys
higher.
down because I don't have enough time to.
You know what?
Revamp
That's
it.
who I would have drafted if he would have fell. I think it would make sense. So
There you go.
All
In
right,
this
the
case-
pick is in, and the Bears stack up their defense a little better with this pick. And the 8th pick in the draft is Derwin James,
you know, I think in an elite,
safety from Florida State.
you got to have a strong secondary in the NFC North. You know, we got Kirk Cousins there, Aaron Rodgers, and Matt Stafford, both crazy passers, and especially with a
Absolutely.
young quarterback behind there, they're gonna be playing a lot of defense. I feel,
Yeah.
especially in windy Chicago, you gotta have a good secondary.
And the Santa Clara 49ers, I meant the San Francisco 49ers, are now on the clock.
Ooh, where does San Fran go here? I mean, obviously not quarterback.
I think they go Roquan Smith, linebacker, Georgia.
That'd be really nice. I mean, I think that really solidified their defense. I mean, you know,
And
Shanahan.
I think
linebacker.
them stacking up their defense a little bit more here helps them out because in the later rounds they're going to have to find Garoppolo some weapons. I mean, Garcon is not
Old.
what he used to be. So
Well, I mean, they can still spread the field with that speed guy they got. Can't remember his freaking name.
And the pick is in.
Let's play for the Bills. Can't remember his name. It's not here
he's
today.
already off the board.
He's on the other side.
I'll use the same paper.
Oh,
Oh,
recycled
got it.
paper? What is this?
I was like, what? He's already
Total
off the
San
board.
Fran pick. Recycled paper.
Yeah.
Hippie.
Total San Fran pick. They find a way to steal the other team's player.
Right.
And with the 9th pick, the San Francisco 49ers select DJ Moore, wide receiver,
Best receiver in the draft.
Maryland.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what?
And
you
the
know
first
who
receiver is off the board.
I think that's a
Well,
little bit of a
on the
reach.
board.
I think they have other needs there, and they also going to address wide receiver later.
Give their franchise quarterback a weapon, because all they have is Marquise Goodwin, who's more of a Olympic track star than he is a receiver.
He had a great season this past year for him. I think
Yeah,
that's
he
something
did, but
like
he's not no
8
number
touchdowns.
one.
I mean, he's not number one, but someone that you definitely stretch the field
Who
with.
else
And
do
you
they
saw
have?
them go undefeated with that receiving core once he took over
That
under
doesn't
center.
mean you stop.
Well,
Picks already
I'm just
in, but I'll
saying.
let you guys debate for a minute about the Raiders.
I don't know. I think they
Dolphins
should have
are on
gone
the clock, by
Minka
the way.
Fitzpatrick. I think he's a guy that you could use in several options around the backfield,
Or the
especially
Raiders,
like
yeah.
as maybe of a rover type safety or linebacker.
Oh yeah, actually the
You can't
Oakland Raiders are on the
Can you
clock.
name more than 2 receivers on that team?
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
All right, the pick is in, guys. And with the 10th pick in this year's draft,
You can't read that. Can
no,
you?
I can't.
Oh my god.
Josh Jackson.
Gotcha, Josh Jackson.
Yes.
With the
Raiders are
Raiders?
going to add to their defense with Khalil Mack and Bruce Irvin. And
Josh Jackson is off the board.
Out of Iowa, cornerback.
I like that pick. It's not bad.
You know what? I don't like it at all. I don't understand how that helps their pass rush.
well, I don't care for your opinion.
I know you don't, but I'm just saying. I feel you got Vita Vea,
they-
who's a freaking beast. He's the next
That
Haloti
is
Ngata.
true. That
They
is
lost
true.
Sean Smith because he's in jail right now. They needed a corner, and they kept.
There's a lot of
Joseph-
corner depth. I think that's a reach. I think if you take Vita Vea, I think he's probably our #1 defensive tackle. They don't have a defensive tackle. I think
is
that
true.
frees up your pass rush more from
Like
your
what you-
boy.
Like what you
I think
Your
the
boy Khalil
Dolphins
Mack.
are on the
How
clock.
how is
Dolphins
this
are on
how
the
is this a
clock.
bad pick when you wanted a nickel corner at 5 to the Broncos? What happened to that depth there?
You know
Boom.
what? Because that guy got picked up. You know. I don't know.
What are you talking
I mean, there's other better cornerbacks too. What are you gonna do there? Anyway, Finn's on the board.
And we are gonna wrap up our first part of the show as we are 10 picks into this year's draft, and we're gonna take a quick glitch break right here, and when we get back, we're gonna jump on to pick 11 right after
Commercial
this. And welcome back to our special edition show, draft show, and the Dolphins on the clock. The pick is in, and secondary commissioner.
What will Adam Gates do? I need a marker.
believe this is a good pick, Dave.
With the 11th pick, the Miami Dolphins select Villa. I'm so glad I can't say his full name, but
defensive tackle from Washington.
Replaces Ndamukong Suh.
I think
that.
it really helps them out. Cameron Wake.
Yeah.
He's going to need somebody to be able to push from the other side of the line. So
it's not the sexiest pick, but it's definitely something you need and something that will solidify your interior defense for years to come.
So I think he comes off at 11.
Of note, only 2 quarterbacks have gone so far.
It would suck if there was a franchise quarterback on the board, but I'm just gonna.
There are none.
Okay, we have the Bills on the clock right now.
And they're on the clock, Sean. The Bills. What do your Billy boys do up there in NY?
I don't know. I think this is a really, really easy pick. Well, actually, I think honestly, as a Bills fan, I think they're actually going to trade up to the 5th with Denver. I think Denver will step down, and Bills will trade probably 2 first-round picks to get up there.
I can see that.
And you know what? I think they're probably going to either pick at this point, if this is how it plays out, Rosen if he doesn't go to the Jets, or Baker if he doesn't go to the Jets, or maybe a wild card pick, Josh Allen. But I just don't see the productivity from him. So I would see Baker or Rosen going to the Bills at 5 if they trade up. But if they don't trade up and they stay at 12, that's also
what
a
you
great
got at
pick.
this pick right here.
This pick, I don't even like this pick. You know what? This
you still got a lot of quarterbacks left. Your man Josh Rosen is still available.
Will he pull a Muhammad Ali and shock the world with this pick?
No, he won't.
The pick is in.
It's very predictable.
And what everyone thought, they addressed their issue after losing quarterback Tyrod Taylor.
Giving away Tyler Taylor.
Well, yeah, giving him away. And they get Josh Rosen, quarterback UCLA.
That's their man right there. Franchise quarterback. That's their future. They didn't get another Tyrod Taylor with Baker Mayfield. That's a great pick right there.
That is a good pick. It is.
You know what? I would really have liked to get Baker if he was available. I think his attitude and his versatility.
His win now mentality is something that
I would do what he did, but it'd probably have to get.
But Josh Rosen has great arm talent. He definitely can make all the throws. A little bit of maybe strength issue there, and maybe a little bit of concussion issue, but I think he definitely fits in. And there's definitely a need for the Bills.
And the team from Washington is now on the clock.
And the
Redskins.
Bills
The team from Washington.
The Redskins.
The team from Washington.
They're
called the Redskins. And Brad, you have the Washington Redskins.
Yeah. The team from Washington.
All right. Awkward silence.
Very awkward silence. So what do we think so far here?
I think our draft is turning out a little different than what most people would pick.
Definitely the most projections.
Tremaine going that high, I think he's gonna be a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 surprises me.
I mean, a 19-year-old kid in the top 5. That's
Sonny
something you don't hear of
Michel
every day.
comes out of nowhere, gets drafted top 6.
Top 6.
But I could see Rosen going top 10.
Yeah,
If the
Rosen, I
Bills
could
do trade
expect
up.
him off the board. DJ Moore, I didn't expect until later half of the first round.
I don't even have him in
Josh
the first
Jackson
round.
I had around in the 20s, the early 20s. Are we surprised to see Josh Allen not picked up yet?
No.
Moderately,
Because a
not entirely.
lot of people don't believe in him.
I don't believe
Just
him
because
either.
he's from a small.
I think he's
smaller
very
than
talented.
school.
He has a lot of potential.
He's very talented.
I mean, the guy did throw like an 80-yard bomb.
Yeah, wow. So did Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and he's not
And
that
he's starting.
Yeah, so
Yeah, for
did
the Chiefs now.
Jamarcus Russell.
And he started at one point.
And so did Brian Leftwich, who led
All right, with the
Jackson.
13th pick in the draft, the Redskins add a little quarterback depth and pick up Josh Allen,
The team
Wow.
from Washington.
from Wyoming.
That's a shot.
Let Alex Smith start for a year or two, and then you got your man right
He
there.
is getting old. Yeah.
You find
Yeah.
your future right there.
Josh-
Sorry, Alex.
And I believe it's a good pick just because Josh Allen will not start immediately, and he will have years to learn.
He needs to sit for a few years. And
It's not a very win-now pick. I feel the Redskins aren't a very bad team. I feel the NFC East is competitive when you had a step back from Dallas, and then definitely New York is
you have the
in
Super
no
Bowl
chance.
champs in that division. What are you talking about?
I mean, you do, but you can still bid for an NFC wild card. I mean, the NFC East is historically competitive. They rarely have back-to-back division champs. They're not a lot away from a solid run. They didn't have a terrible season this past year. And I think Alex Smith is an improvement over Kirk Cousins. So
I do too.
Every team in that division has a franchise quarterback right now. Besides,
Dak Prescott is franchise.
Yes.
Yeah, Prescott's for every team that.
I mean,
doesn't-
I'm
I would
biased.
say too soon to say, but he's definitely on the upside. Definitely has potential.
I mean,
to be.
if you look at it,
Eli in the twilight years.
he has better stats than Carson Wentz does.
Yeah, I mean, you have.
Really?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look at these numbers here,
Get yourself a quarterback.
including interceptions.
Yes, he has less interceptions.
Wow.
He has a better He has a better QBR, more passing yards, more passing touchdowns,
More wins.
more total touchdowns, more wins.
Todd,
The only thing he doesn't have is a Super Bowl, and that's because of Nick Foles.
Kuiper, Melche, we're talking about the draft right now. We're not talking about those teams. We're talking about the draft.
Yeah, I mean, Washington and FC, it kind of goes to it.
I like the fit. I think it's
a pick that is reasonable just because they know that he has room where he has to grow, and I think they see it when he can learn behind a quarterback like Alex Smith, who does have a big arm,
I agree.
likes plays downfield.
Absolutely.
the picks are. I mean, those two quarterbacks are almost like farther apart. It's almost like the Mahomes Alex Smith thing last year. Mahomes is a gunslinger. Alex Smith is a quick dink and dunk. It's almost to this.
I
Or-
think
Yeah.
the quick
Well-
dink and dunk isn't fair for him when he led the league in downfield throws.
Yeah, he's not a dink and dunk because
No,
that's when he was
I'm exaggerating.
lacking in hit. Like that's when they hit that. They went 5-0 when he was throwing the ball downfield to Tyreek Hill,
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
then when they stopped, they went like
I think-
0-6.
I think it was also the system. That wasn't like a traditional. When they went 5-0, that wasn't a traditional system that they.
All right,
they-
so
they-
the Packers were on the clock,
Packers on the
And the
clock.
and the pick is in.
The pick is in. What are the Packers gonna go here? You know.
Packers, they've lost it a little bit. They've added a little
I bet
bit.
you they go Ridley.
You know what? I would like to
And
see.
the Packers go with, they give Aaron Rodgers a weapon.
No way. What kind of weapon?
Calvin Ridley, wide
Calvin
receiver,
Ridley.
Alabama.
Ooh.
Roll Tide!
They need a receiver. They lost Jordy Nelson. They added Jimmy Graham, but he's a tight end, and they need
still got
some
Adams,
depth
they
downfield
still got
for.
that other
I mean,
For Rodgers.
Jimmy Graham is still
Cobb.
6'6". He's 6'6", still runs a
They
4.5.
missed out on.
He's still Jimmy Graham.
They missed out on Allen Robinson because that was between the Bears and the Packers for them. So they got themselves a number one receiver right there.
You know what? I really
With the
would have
Devontae.
liked to have seen Minka Fitzpatrick. I think them getting in that secondary would have been beautiful. Either that, or honestly, why not a running back? I mean, when's the last time they did that? They
They
haven't
do
spent
need
a
a
large
running back,
pick on
too.
that since Eddie Lacy.
I think you got Jamal Williams. I don't think you reached.
I think that the Packers were okay doing this just because they could pick up Nick Chubb in the second round or
They
third
could, you're
round,
right.
and
A
they
lot
would
of
add a
RB
good
depth.
running back.
A lot of RB depth for certain.
So, next pick is on the clock, and that would be the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be interesting to see what they do here. I'm going to need a minute. As they did add a quarterback in Sam Bradford,
They did.
but I mean,
You know what? I think that's a team I really would have liked to have seen
Okay.
Josh Allen way
Give it
behind.
Which team?
the pick's getting to his
The,
head already.
Arizona Cardinals. I think sitting behind Sam Bradford, I think that's a guy that's a little more similar.
Who'd you say?
Oh, Josh Allen sitting behind Sam Bradford. I think that would have been nice in
In
Phoenix,
Arizona.
especially with a new head coach too.
I bet you he goes Kalechi actually from Notre Dame for this pick because Arizona needs to get back to that structure, build that O line up. Kalechi's supposed to be a top 15 pick, so we're right at that mark. So I think they go O line.
I like that pick, honestly. They do
Right
need a good
idea.
O-line. Make some
Wrong
more
person.
holes for David Johnson,
How about
healthy once
Colton
again.
Miller? Whoa, we got a shocker right now. I'm at Connor Williams, offensive tackle, Texas.
Really?
Interesting.
yeah, he's a solid guy. He's long, good long arms. He's great. He's a great build for an offensive tackle. I think he's going to start protecting that blind side, and he's going to protect Sam Bradford to where he doesn't get hurt, and he goes back to his Minnesota year where he led them to the playoffs, and then with a healthy David Johnson back, I think that Connor Williams starts that rebuild process that you talked about.
I could definitely see Arizona making a run, given Bradford and an offensive tackle like this.
Bradford gets hurt just looking at him, so I don't think that's going to exactly protect him. But it's something with Mike Glenn in there.
All right.
To go.
Next up on the clock is the Ravens. Sean, you have that pick, so it's on to you, my friend.
Oh my gosh, what do I do here for the Ravens? The lovely, lovely Ravens.
They need a lot.
They do need a lot. I feel like they needed a lot for years, but they have a new GM. They got rid of Ozzie Newsome, their longtime GM, the last GM they had under their last Super Bowl run in 2012, 2013. So that's kind of interesting, but
I bet you they go. Quentin Nelson's sliding quite a bit, which I'm oddly shocked about. So we'll see what he does there. I bet you they goes Nelson, guard from Notre Dame.
We shall
I probably
see.
just gave him his pick, but I bet you think he goes Quentin Nelson.
You know what? I have to say your commentary was very inspirational, and I was surprised that this guy has slid this far.
Going from he's a top 3 prospect in the entire draft.
I had Nelson going to San
And let me
Francisco.
tell you, he's not like that one offensive lineman who stood in Miami for smoking weed the night of the draft.
So what's the pick? Do we not know?
What's the
pick?
pick?
What's
Pick is in. It is Quentin Nelson, guard from Notre Dame.
You know, I really think they just need to solidify that offensive line, give Joe Flacco more time to throw,
Yeah.
and then really develop that run game that they're known for. You know, the AFC North is a big run game division.
Develop that now in a couple of years. If Flacco retires, bring in a top prospect quarterback, and that's.
Oh, well, that's not
coming
an exciting pick, but you've seen what consecutive first-round talent at offensive line has done for a team like the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Anyone can run behind that line, maybe even me.
And not the San Diego Chargers, but the LA Chargers are now on the clock.
And Brad, you have that pick, so whenever the pick is in, we will. The Chargers. I think
What do you go here? You go offense here?
I think they go defense because Phillip Rivers showed that offense can really do something last year.
Oh, absolutely.
But their defense had some struggles here and there. So
Their defense is filthy.
What do you do with, what do you go? You go secondary? Do you go at
but their
safety
defense
maybe?
is what cost them a playoff spot.
Linebacker?
No, their
Secondary
kickers
gets
have
some
cost them
downfield
playoff
coverage.
spots.
Well, you don't draft a kicker in the first round.
Well, you can drop him in the second.
But we have.
I wouldn't even draft him. I just sign him.
Remember when the Bucks did that? James
And the
Winston's
pick
boy.
is in, and this is actually a really good pick for someone who is judging they need to add to their defense statement. He adds to the defense. Roquan Smith, linebacker from Georgia.
Go, Georgia! Go Dogs. Psych? No, I actually really love that pick. That's a great pick. I think he's going to definitely complement their linebacking core already. And
A great pick from a great mind.
how humble
And
of you
now
to say.
the
As
Seahawks
Brad proceeds to
are
toot his own horn.
on the clock.
And I'll let you guys discuss before I submit.
You know who I would have liked to have seen here? DJ Moore. I think if they were to add a little to their wide receiver core, that'd be great. But he also could add to that offensive line, give Russell Wilson more time to throw. There's still some talent left at offensive line in this draft. Not a lot of linemen.
I actually think they go make. I think he goes Minka Fitzpatrick. Yeah,
That'd
you
be a
trade.
great one.
You trade Earl Thomas. Get a first round pick out of him. Trade him to Dallas.
They're not going to get a first round pick for Earl Thomas.
There's no.
Well, you trade something. Something's better than
Seconds,
nothing.
maybe even
We'll
like
We'll
top
adjust that
third.
when we get to Dallas' pick because I'm going to bring it up.
And then you get a stud.
Don't worry.
Why would you bring that up? Okay.
And the pick is in, and they go defensive line here.
Oh.
De'Aaron Payne from Alabama.
What? Wow.
Seahawks lost a lot of players. They need something if they can't get secondary. After losing Sherman, possibly losing Thomas in the next few weeks, they need to pick up someone.
They
Not
did,
Minkah Fitzpatrick,
they,
though?
they did lose what's his face who has a neck injury. Their D lineman.
Yeah.
They did.
All right, and now
Also losing Bennett to the Eagles.
the Cowboys are on the clock.
That is
America's team, so they say.
Secondary commish.
We have the worst franchise in sports at the pick right now. So we will.
Oh,
Well, they got a lot of rings for being so bad.
yeah, exactly. All right, so as a Cowboys fan, I think what they do here with the Eagles, not the Eagles, the Seahawks not having a second or third round pick, I think they trade 50 for Earl Thomas this year because the Seahawks realize they're not going to get a first rounder for him, and they want to get rid of his contract.
And as a
So I
Seahawks
think-
fan, I can't see us,
I think they go with trading Earl Thomas for 50, and then they go offense in this draft, or maybe linebacker. But as of right now, with who's available, and say they don't get Earl
He
Thomas,
probably has a felony on his record, whoever the Cowboys draft. So that's my guess. But that's another story for another day.
well, sometimes it takes felonies to win Super Bowls. That's why the Jags haven't won a single one yet.
Oh!
Here we go. The pick is in.
You can thank the rest, by the way, for the Patriots. Oh, we got who I always thought they'd get, Minka Fitzpatrick.
That's a
Roll
beautiful
Tide.
pick.
Safety. Bama.
Two Bama boys back to back right there. I think that if they are unable to get Earl Thomas. They draft Minka Fitzpatrick. He's pretty much an automatic starter in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Him and Xavier Woods from Louisiana Tech, who they drafted last year, back side by side.
Xavier Woods is a beast.
And then you have your guy Jeff Heath, who just likes to come in and knock off heads.
That's true.
I think that they really help out that secondary with Minka.
And their
Fitzpatrick.
secondary is as young as the Las Vegas Golden Knights, so they definitely need more guys on that team. So
Yeah, but I mean, their secondary has some of the best, most upside to it as like the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, especially in division where you got to compete against Carson Wentz and Eli Manning twice a year, and now
Plus
Alex
Alex
Smith twice a year. So that's tough, and especially getting that defense rolling and Big D playing in Jerry World, I think that's a wonderful pick.
But I think if you already added Chidobe Awuzie,
Mhm.
they have Jordan Lewis from Michigan. They moved Byron Jones down to outside cornerback now, a long guy that they had at safety.
you put
Xavier Woods, physical
you
guy.
put Lewis at nickel, which he played out in Michigan, and then you have Jones, and then you have
Awuzie on the
on the
outside.
outside, and then you have
I think Minka Fitzpatrick at free safety, and then you have Xavier Woods at strong safety, and I think they have one of the most upsided secondaries in this league going forward.
I think this might be one of the best. If this were to happen, be the best pick in the draft. So
Well, it's a huge fall for Minka and a huge benefit for Dallas.
I know he's gonna have some tough competition though, going against your boy Josh Allen at quarterback for years to come. So we'll see.
All right. Next up, we have on the clock the Lions. Sean, what do you got for those Matt Stafford-led Lions?
Oh my goodness, it's going to be a tough one. We're going to see here what I can scrummage up. They can do a lot of things. They probably could go running back, but a lot of depth in that position, so they could go later on to address it. Really haven't spent a lot of money or high picks on running back to help Matthew Stafford.
I think they go. I think that if they were at this pick right now, they would go Cortland Sutton, SMU. They pretty much replaced Calvin Johnson with another big guy.
I disagree. I think they signed Marvin Jones to a big contract. They have Golden Tate on a big contract. They need a running back. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher since Reggie Bush was there.
That's why I have Ronald Jones.
4 years ago. I think they go running back. I think they go guys.
Ronald Jones to the Lions.
They have Galladay, who is a big receiver that they have. I mean, you have 3 good receivers. I don't think there's any reason to go receiver. I think they go guys.
Really?
And there's a fob with the pick right now, so...
Hey, I'm taking my time with it. I got a whole minute, let me take my time. This is a tough decision for the Detroit Lions. I really want to get them to the playoffs this year. It's a tough division.
I mean, it'd also be nice to see Will Hernandez fall because Matt Stafford could use a little protection on that offensive line.
True.
You know what?
A little inside
and you
protection
also,
as well.
they're in a need for tight end with Ebron leaving. You have Hurst, Gesicki on the board. Maybe they go tight end. I bet you he goes guys. LSU running back.
I had him going at pick number 7.
And since we have Boomer Sooner right here, maybe he'll go to the 3rd Oklahoma running back on their depth chart. So I
actually like this pick a lot. This is for the 20th pick for the Lions, stepping up that defensive line a little bit. Marcus Davenport, defensive end.
I like that pick.
Definitely a lot of pass rush. I mean, if you can rush Kirk Cousins, make some mistakes, have your defense come up big. Definitely smack around Aaron Rodgers if you could injure him again. I don't know. And definitely just trounce over the Bears, which isn't hard.
Besides Bradley Chubb, you have one of the best pass rushers in arguably the draft. I think he's better than Vita Vita, so
pass rush is an important position, definitely. So
well,
they
we're
fill
going to
that
take
need.
another break here, and then when we get back, we're going to jump on 21st pick right after this. And welcome back to the show here. We are in the later half of the first round in our draft prediction here. And on the clock now is the Bengals. Brad, you're up.
we have the Tigers.
And after last year's draft, it was a pretty disappointing draft through and through.
Oh, without a doubt.
I believe.
Yeah.
I feel like
And
taking a huge step back.
I think this year, they're really going to be on watch on what they do in this year's draft because they really have to find. I mean, they don't have A.J. McCarron as their backup quarterback to say, hey, if Andy Dalton messes up or gets hurt, we have him there. He's gone now, so
What's the prediction for the pick?
I think they address quarterback, maybe Mason Rudolph here.
I think Andy Dalton's still the man. I think you can definitely get some depth later on in the rounds for a second stringer. Maybe a little bit more offensive line. I know they traded for the Bills left tackle, Cordy Glenn. But you never know. They could go Will Hernandez here, a nice powerful guard, help with the running game, or go defense because Vontae Burfict, I believe, is suspended again.
And I could see them going offense definitely. I mean, Dalton's the only staple of their offense along with AJ Green. They need O-line to protect Dalton.
Well, they'll have their tight end back this year, which will really help relieve some pressure.
How about?
All right, ding, ding, ding. A pick is in, and who do we have here?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Ho! Right position, wrong player.
Oh, no!
I knew they were going to do it. They were going to find his replacement because Andy Dalton can't win in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson,
Wow.
quarterback
Wow.
Louisville.
Rarely do you see the commissioner criticize a pick. This is the first.
Cincinnati typically goes by skill, and usually they're like the typical Oakland Raiders now by going off just kind of the. If you can run fast, they're gonna get you.
But we don't even know how
Combine
fast he
alone.
runs. He didn't even run the 40.
Because he didn't want to get looked at as a receiver because they were looking at him as a receiver if he would have ran.
Well, there's a difference between 4.2 speed and 4.4 speed. So.
Yeah, and he's fast, and there's no difference between being fast and fast.
Well, you know what they say. If you got one starter, let's add a project.
Okay, now we have you on the clock. So let's
Back
go.
on the clock with the Bills.
Let's go, Boomer.
Gosh, I'm so ready. Let's see what we got on the board real quick.
I mean, we're gonna. While you're making your pick, we'll do a quick recap. So first off, the board was Sam Darnold, Saquon Barkley at 2, Baker Mayfield off at 3 to the Jets, Bradley Chubb, Tremaine Edmonds, Sony Michel was pretty much the dark horse coming out early, Denzel Ward, Derwin James, DJ Moore up in the top 10, Josh Jackson, Vita Vea, Josh Rosen down to 12, Josh Allen at 13 to Washington, Calvin Ridley, Connor Williams, Quentin Nelson here at 16, Roquan Smith at 17, and then we got 2 Bama boys back-to-back, De'Aaron Payne and Minka Fitzpatrick at 18 and 19 to Seattle and Dallas, Marcus Davenport at 20, and then rounding it out, 21, Lamar Jackson.
5 quarterbacks off the table.
I think he goes. The Bills quarterbacks, Rosen's offensive lineman, Colton Miller. He's supposed to go top 20 at this point. With
You know what?
I
I was
think he
really
addressed
torn between offensive line, and I was thinking of someone
his,
specific, but
Will Hernandez.
I love Will Hernandez, especially with the recent news of Richie Incognito. I think he'd be a perfect replacement. He's a guy, he's a true pulling guard, loves to come off the edge and just knock someone out. Perfect for your running game. He pass blocks well. He's real stocky, so he's a nice low center of gravity.
So
Had a great senior year, great senior bowl.
Is that the pick?
No.
The pick is in. And with the 22nd pick in the draft, the Buffalo Bills bolster up the defense a little bit and get Rashaan Evans, linebacker, Alabama.
Well, the Bills lost Preston Brown this year. We decided not to pick up his, re-sign him, and I think he went to Cincinnati eventually on a very small deal. But so we need a strong linebacker, and also with Sean McDermott, when he had his defense down in Carolina, he loves a nice, strong middle linebacker type of guy, Luke Kuechly type of guy. I think Rashaan Evans is great value at 22. He solidifies that defense, especially in the division that's go up against New England twice a year. You definitely need defense to try to contain Tom Brady while he's still around in the league.
All right, and now on the clock is the New England Patriots.
Ooh.
Let's see.
We have Parker Shumaker at the helm, but I think he goes Harold Landry. It's kind of a late pick, like the Deion Jones from Syracuse when they had 2 number ones. And Harold Landry is very similar to a certain degree to Deion Jones. You get that pass rusher that can play linebacker to a sense, and especially in that 3-4 defense, I think it'd be a great fit.
You know what? They lost Nate Soldier, right? So wouldn't they need a little offensive line help? I mean,
They've got 2 first rounders.
I think Mason Rudolph. The Patriots are probably going to be looking for a backup or another backup in the wake of Tom Brady.
I don't think you go for backup in first round. Backup to me screams more second or third Kyle Ulata, or Falk out of Washington State, or was that Western Kentucky, whichever one plays for.
Washington State. You have let's see. You got Orlando.
The pick's in.
The pick's in. Oh god.
For the New England Cheaters. I mean Patriots.
I know they should have lost the AFC Championship. Thank the refs. But we got a shocker. They didn't go offense. They went. Oh wait. Yeah, I said defense, but so I was semi-right. They got Lehigh Vander Esch. I can't say that name correct, but Boise State linebacker.
I
Him
like
and
that.
Tim Hightower side by side. Very athletic guys. Really helps the
Definitely.
defense out.
Definitely. I mean, I think
Players with
their new
difficult
defensive
names
coordinator
as
is going to
well.
have a lot of fun with this guy, getting different packages. Great replacement. I mean, and it's fun. It's a fun fact. New England, they never pick offense in the first. They always pick defense.
Well, they
And
have
always
2
trade
picks.
back.
I'm just glad for Vander Esch to get off that blue field. So he wins either way.
Well, I think what really helps the Patriots, especially when it comes into late postseason. I mean, there's an old saying that offense wins games, defense wins championships, and they're spending a lot of time and a lot of draft capital in the first on defense has really done well for them in past.
All right. So on the clock is the Panthers. Adam, you have that pick.
I do.
The Carolina Panthers keep pounding. So what do we think we go here, guys? What does Carolina need? I mean, they had Chris McCaffrey last year.
They need a receiver. That's what they need.
Yeah.
They need a receiver that's not like 6'5" and they need like a speedster. But they don't need like they
So
need.
maybe a Christian Kirk.
I think Christian Kirk would be a good fit. I mean, you also have with the dude from LSU still on the board, who's a speedster. I think they really need to get a true number one because you have
Cortland Sutton.
you have Curtis.
He's just so big. He's a big
I
guy.
mean, they're not getting number ones
replaces
right now.
Kelvin Benjamin.
I mean,
right?
you have Sutton who looks
Younger,
like
cheaper.
they need like a receiver that can do everything. I mean, they have Curtis Samuel
Mm-hmm.
who's a little speedster, but he's not going to be a number one. They have Christian McCaffrey isn't a number one running back. They have
Number one passing running back. I mean, he's definitely a
But
third down back for sure.
He's a third down back, but he's not a number one running
He
back.
could play wide receiver in the slot.
You're not going to give him the ball 20 times a game as a running back.
All right. Ding, ding, ding. The pick is in.
I bet you think this Kirk.
This goes against everything you guys are saying.
Definitely, 100%.
Cornerback, I bet.
I'm trying to think. Like,
What?
all right. They go Taven Bryan.
Defense. I think they bolster the defense a little bit.
Keelan Bryan.
Picking up that defense a little bit.
I like how there was just dead silence.
You know what?
It's a pick that nobody.
I'm not going to lie. I had to Google who he was, so I don't know.
I hadn't heard of him.
But
either.
he's right.
I like it, and especially because that replaces a need. They lost, what was it, Star Lulata or something?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the Bills
Yeah,
on like
to
a
the Bills.
4-year,
All right, Taven
too much
Bryan.
money
So
deal.
you got to definitely not too much money, but they definitely need to bolster up that interior defense again. I mean, Carolina's known for their defense; they need to get that going. I mean, especially in the NFC South, you need a lot.
I
of
think that's
defense.
just a guy nobody expected, so it was just a shocker.
Definitely. You know, there's
Keep
a
watching
lot
for
of
100% accurate picks.
Yeah, I mean,
surprising picks.
These are for sure what's going to happen.
yeah, exactly. So just
Put
watch this.
money on it.
We're gonna post this,
What?
and then you just watch this and don't even watch the real.
You don't need to watch
Who
real
cares
drafts.
about
I
that?
mean, you just watch week one and
What-
we're like, what? Why isn't that guy there?
Like what LeVar Ball once said, we're gonna speak it into existence. So it's all gonna happen. Don't bother wasting your 3 hours tomorrow. You've got us.
You just wake up the next day. These picks won't be right, but you'll feel good about watching it.
We got Lewis Riddick, we got Todd McShay, we have Mel Kiper, and then we have whoever the heck you could
Colin Coward. I don't know.
Mike Mayock, the one that just doesn't stop talking. But you know what?
He and
That's
Rappaport.
great.
All right, on the clock now is the Titans.
Mm.
Brad, you have that pick. Does Mariota get a weapon?
Will he? Will he not? Who knows at this point?
I mean, a Christian Kirk would be a speedster.
It would.
I think he likes speedsters with that arm he's got.
But it's also a team that went wide receiver at number 4 overall last year. I mean, we didn't see a lot of them
Who did
because
they
he was
pick
injured. Western Michigan
They
wide
got
receiver.
Corey Davis.
Corey
That's-
Davis.
And they got
Beast.
Adoree Jackson at cornerback with the 19th pick. They got two for that was the whole idea. Corey Davis.
Do a little pass rush, or do we go defensive tackle? Or
I mean, they do need
I don't
some
know. I'm
in
not
that
gonna.
front seven.
I'm not spoiling my pick.
I'm
All
not.
right,
I'm just-
ding, ding, ding. The pick is in. All right, what do we got here? Mike Gesicki.
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 Mike Gesicki.
Interesting.
Wow.
The
Let me
number
tell
one tight
you.
end in the draft. He's built that big ball. He can catch whatever ball that Maria throws to him. I mean, it's
Yeah,
something.
Penn State.
It's something that Mario has never had before.
I can see that
Not
they
so
don't have
far.
a staple type.
They don't have-
Delaney Walker?
Mario barely throws the ball, not because he can't, but the fact that he has
I mean,
no weapons to.
I mean, he does have Delaney Walker.
Yeah, he is like 10 years in the league.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
still
a Hall
a
of
beast.
Famer.
He's still a top 5 tight end in the league.
He's gonna be in his wheelchair on CTE soon.
I mean, he's no Mercedes Lewis, but I mean, he's not
I'm
that
sure
old.
Lewis isn't good.
All right,
He's
Adam.
in the streets.
Adam, you're back on the clock with those
Oh.
Atlanta Falcons.
ATL, the dirty South. Yeah, so what do the Falcons need? I mean, they're 2 years removed from a Super Bowl run. I mean, the NFC South is extremely competitive.
It is.
Yeah,
I think they go defense.
I think defense is
I think
You
they
are
could-
correct.
defensive tackle.
Oh,
I think they go
safety,
D, I think they go
quarterback.
DB.
You did it here.
I
I
like
think they
that.
go Harold Landry.
You know, there's a lot of defensive back depth left on
Ding,
this.
ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Love
The
value.
pick is in. And Bradley,
You are correct.
you're a magician. Harold Landry
Yes.
is off the board.
We have heard rumors about Julio. There being some uproar there, but at the same time, going with if they stay with the formula that they need and with the offense that every other team
Don't-
in that division has.
He's what will make them so they don't blow a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl.
That's a lot to
28-3.
weigh on one player's shoulders.
I'm a speak.
All right.
I'm a speak it into existence.
The Saints are on the clock.
How the Saints go
Second
marching
commish.
in.
I got you.
Do they have another? They did really well in the draft last year. I mean, Drake, safety out of Ohio State, and then coming back in, getting Alvin Kamara, Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of
I'm
the Year.
gonna win. I think he goes Rudolph just for the fact that they Sean Payton went out 2 days ago and said they would have selected Holmes if he didn't get traded up for by the Chiefs.
I
right
have
with pick.
Hayden Hurst.
I think that'd be a good pick too. He hasn't had a tight end. The only thing I don't like about Hayden Hurst, he's 25 years old. That's an old man at that point in the
That is
NFL.
true.
I mean, but doesn't that
But he
show a
does
lot
need a
of?
tight end.
I mean,
Yeah, but
he's
you don't-
definitely built. He definitely has muscle.
when you get a first round pick, you want
Experience.
you want to get him for the next 10 years, not for like 5 years in this.
Well, there's definitely
I
a
mean-
team that's
Well,
one or
at
two
the
players
same
away
time-
You
from
don't
the
want
Super
to
Bowl
pull a
run.
Brandon
potentially.
Weeden. I
Yeah.
mean,
Breeze only has a few years left, so maybe they get Hurst, see if that combo works for a couple of years.
I
and
mean,
then
you have
move on.
North South Dakota State's tight end who's still available. Whoa, we have a Big Blue Michigan. They draft Marquise Hurst. Maurice Hurst. Thank you, Commissioner.
That's what he's here for.
Maurice, I think that right now their offense is set. Drew Brees could be 40 and he'll still be throwing the ball pretty well. With Alvin Kamara in his backfield, I think they'll be all right.
I feel like
Maurice Hurst gets
Lock
it
down
done.
that defense.
I feel like you're drafting on the difficulty of names because I can't spell half of them.
Yeah, that's the only way.
I like your strategy though.
Oh.
I think.
And next we got me with the Pittsburgh Steelers, the current AFC North champs.
Yeah, too bad they lost in the divisional round.
Yeah, you know, that was really embarrassing, honestly, for someone who touts themselves as a defensive team to give up 45 points in a game to someone who's led by Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles is a backup, by the way. What the heck are you doing, Coughlin? Just wanted to throw that out there. But
All right, where did the Steelers go? They go defense? They go offense?
You know, they could do something crazy and replace Bell's backup if he doesn't want to play for them anymore.
I think, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do.
I have them taking Derwin James. He's already off the board up on here, but that's who I had to take.
I
so
think they
need
go
some
Mike.
defense.
I think they go Mike Galicci. Actually, he should have gone top 15. Probably one of the
Mike
best
Gesicki?
offensive tackle.
I think they go Mike Hughes, cornerback, UCF.
That's a good
I
pick.
also have him in the first round.
If it prevents you getting torched by Blake Bortles, then I think it's a
He
great
torches
pick.
people. He loves to torch them.
I'm one of the few who doesn't believe Bortles is as much of a scrub as some people think.
Blake Bortles isn't a top 30 quarterback in the league.
Top 30? Wow,
Top
that's
30?
a little generous.
You're saying
Jeff.
he's one of the worst two in the league?
What?
You're saying he's one of the worst two in the league?
Yes.
I don't know about worst two.
You led the team led the league in rushing. They had the best defense in the league, and they still went 10-6.
I'd
They
say
went-
he's at least top.
They went
top
5-6
25.
against teams not in the top 5 with the top 5
He's
pick.
top 20, in my opinion.
I think it's
I think he played his best game of his career against the Pats, and
I
it's
think-
sad to see him
He
lose.
played the game of his life.
I think
He
the
did.
management celebrated 420 a little bit early, and it just got ridiculous at that deal. But
I think he was
All
definitely
right,
overpaid.
ding,
but-
ding, ding. The pick is in. Steelers do go defense. They get Jari Alexander, cornerback from Louisville.
Definitely some quarterback depth. They lost one of their cornerbacks. What is it, William Gay, I believe, or it was Hayward. So they lost him in free agency, so you definitely need to bolster down that secondary. I mean, at this point, with all these linebackers taken off the board, it's tough to find a Shazier replacement.
David,
So, in a division where you have to play against A.J. Green twice a year, and now Landry Jones twice a year. You got to lock down those corners.
And the Steelers once again steal the Jaguars' pick. So let's go back to the whiteboard and look at what we got.
Jags are on the clock.
Scratch.
You hate to see it. You really do. But yeah, guys, so, wow. So no Mason Rudolph yet. We had Lamar Jackson leave.
I mean, we have 5 quarterbacks off the board already.
That's insane.
I have the Jaguars taking linebacker. I have Rashawn Evans. Or did we already pick him?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's off.
To the Bills, baby!
And I'll say Mason Rudolph. Just throwing it out.
You know what? I
Think
think
they're
that would be
quarterback?
very good. I think, especially with, they'll add a little depth. If
Get a
Bortles
solid
doesn't work
backup.
out, if he starts sucking halfway, I mean, he's a guy who definitely can maintain an offense, definitely manage it. You could
And
go
then
wide
Brad
receiver,
gets
replace
his quarterback.
Allen, you know?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, your third
What
overall
happened? What-
quarterback,
what-
Mason Rudolph.
What happened to how bad he was?
I mean, he's not that bad. He's not better than Baker Mayfield.
He is, but that's another
Why didn't
discussion.
he beat
for-
him?
All right,
What?
ding, ding,
Why are
ding.
Baker's
Because
stats
his
better?
defense was so
The
much
pigs-
worse.
the
Why are
picks
Baker's
in.
stats better?
Get out of
Picks
here.
in.
Why was Baker a starter longer?
What?
And there it is. The Jags get a backup quarterback.
No way.
A starter quarterback.
Backup, because Blake Bortles is going to start.
You don't pay someone
Yeah,
that
for
much money to be a
for-
backup.
for 4 games.
We spoke
Mason
it into
Rudolph.
existence. Or I did.
You speak it into existence, baby.
Damn it, I'm right. Yep. I didn't say that bad word, by the way, but
This is family friendly. What's wrong with you?
Come on, it's gonna go on YouTube. Come on, bro.
you know what? YouTube.
All right.
Let's keep it PG.
That was Brad
Vikings.
Lofton. That was Brad Lofton's last pick of the draft.
That fits within the parameters of a PG film.
Vikings are on the clock. Adam, you have this
What,
pick.
what will they do?
I'll tell you what, Brad. If you wanted a quarterback there, what is it? Mike Hughes at Central Florida is still available.
Why would we need a quarterback?
Why not? Just that little depth. Well, because you said you were going to take Jared Alexander. Yeah.
All right. The pick is in. Orlando Brown.
Yes.
The worst combine in arguably NFL history behind the only Tom Brady, the GOAT. So that might.
The Vikings add some
that might-
defensive depth though. They need defense. They put a lot of work into
Offense.
offense. They put a lot
With
of
that
work into
trend,
that.
with having bad combines, that might make him a Hall of Famer. We might be calling him the GOAT.
Well,
like
I will
Tom
say
Brady.
that the combination
Orlando
is,
Brown, the future GOAT.
well, I mean, Oklahoma has a history of having nice, strong left tackles. Look at Silverback in Washington. He's a starter, been locking down the left tackle side, the blind side for years. And then not only that, even though Orlando had a very poor combine, combine testing isn't as important as you would think. Look at his game tape. It's very solid. Gave Baker Mayfield a lot of time to throw. He moves his feet well in game. And 6'8", he's a big boy. He's going to be tough to move.
The New England Patriots are now on the clock. They're about to put them in that infested cheating system. I meant.
Who will the reigning Super Bowl losers take? The question awaits us. The answer awaits us.
Ding, ding, ding. The pick is in.
And we have Mike Hughes, UCF cornerback.
Hey, that's who I picked. That's who I said they'd take.
I think that the reason they really struggled in that Super Bowl is because of their defense.
Definitely.
Mike Hughes might be
They
a good
didn't have
option.
their starting cornerback out there for unknown reasons.
All right, Sean, we're going to go ahead and put you on the clock as we are on a time constraint.
Oh, a time
with the
constraint.
Eagles' last pick in this year's first round of the draft.
Okay.
And
And
Let's see.
who will the reigning Super Bowl champions take?
The reigning Super Bowl champions. Let me see.
all right, welcome back to our show. And as we are here to wrap up, we have the last
Shutting
pick
down the war
in
room.
this year's draft.
Defending Super Bowl champs, Philadelphia Eagles.
And they go Darius Goose.
Guys,
Guys, it has a U in it. I'm sorry. Gus.
I
Gus
thought
Bus. Darius Geis, running back, LSU.
You know, you lost LeGarrette Blount. I mean, you have a nice complimentary young back to complement your young quarterback, and yeah.
I think that pick eventually gets traded out of, and
Really?
somebody gets traded. Whether it's
Trade up or trade down?
I think somebody ends up trading a quarterback late in the round because I don't expect Rudolph to go that high. But
All right, guys, we're going to do a draft recap right quick. So the Browns, they end up first and fourth, Sam Darnold, Bradley Chubb. quick grade right quick. I think they get
That's
a.
an A.
I think they get an
That's
A.
an A.
I
I
do
think
too.
they get an
Yeah,
A.
absolutely.
They,
Alright.
they stayed away from Baker Mayfield. I think they get an A.
Take away
Giants.
Josh Allen. More important.
Giants had one pick in this year's draft. Big Blue went Saquon Barkley.
Overrated pick.
A little overrated, but I think
That's-
it's definitely solid. If you want to make a
I think
push
it's a
in the
B plus.
I'd
competitive
say A minus.
NFC,
Yeah.
NFC, yeah, B plus for sure.
All right,
B.
Jets. Jets gonna have one pick. They find their quarterback Baker Mayfield.
A minus.
F.
For me, I think they need a quarterback regardless.
I think it's a B. I just don't think he fits the system, but they definitely do need a quarterback.
F. Biggest bust in NFL history right here.
Don't listen to this guy. All right, Broncos one pick in the draft this year, and they went with Tremaine Edmonds at 5.
I think they get an A for just one having a great GM and a cute one, but I just think it's a great pick.
All right, I think the Broncos get an A because they really needed a linebacker that adds a little physicality.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
go
they're
B
pretty,
minus.
Pretty set on offense already.
I think it's a good pick. I think he's a good guy. I think he's just young. I mean, he's definitely talented, but I just think it's a reach. I think that's a guy you see in the later teen rounds.
I mean, he is a top 5 prospect. He was projected to go 10.
I don't know. I think there's more. There's better guys you can get for the Broncos.
Better linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, if I were them, I would trade down, get more picks.
All right, we'll keep on moving.
Also, better linebacker.
All right, Colts.
Wrong, but
Colts get Sony Michel. That's their only pick in this year's draft, first round at least. I say B minus.
That's what I'd give myself for making that.
we're not
pick.
talking.
I'm
We're
gonna
not
give a
talking.
C.
We're not talking about like school grades, so D doesn't stand for diploma, but I give it a D.
I would just say it's a C. I feel he got a lot of talent left on there. Like, there's Geis, I think he's a better back than Sony Michel. Not even bringing in Chubb, the guy who started over him. And not only that, there's just so much running back depth that you can address in later rounds. We'd really love to see him get an offensive line or maybe defense.
All right, Bucks one pick in this year's draft. They go Denzel Ward.
I like it.
A minus.
I like that too. I agree.
I'm gonna say
They
B
need some
plus.
depth.
I would like to say Minka Fitzpatrick, but
I'll go
or
solid.
DeJuan
I'll go
James.
solid B.
All right, Bears one pick in this year's draft, first round, and they went Derwin James. I give that an A plus. They really need help on that defense.
They do.
I'd give that an A. Yeah.
Yeah, I give it an
He's the top physical safety, I think.
I mean, he's a beast. He definitely sets the tone for that defense.
A. That
All
defense
right.
was sharp this year.
49ers, one pick in this year's draft, and they go DJ Moore, a wide receiver. I think that's a B just because he's not the best receiver in this year's draft, but he does give Garoppolo a weapon.
I'd give that an A minus. They need some depth in
I'm gonna say
downfield. But
B minus, especially in that division. You need defense if you're gonna maintain the Seahawks and Cardinals
Seahawks
and the Rams.
and the Rams. The
Rams
Rams
are-
need defense if you're gonna shut
Seahawks
down.
have no defense.
All right, the Raiders. Raiders had one pick. They go 10. Josh Jackson, cornerback. I give this an A minus.
I'm gonna give it an A minus as well. Really high on Josh Jackson. I thought he would have gone later, but I mean, he's a great quarterback.
I'll give my pick an A plus.
I give it a B plus.
All right, 11th pick was the Dolphins. They only had one pick in this year's first round, and they go Vita Vea, replaced Ndamukong Suh for defensive tackle.
I'd give that an A.
A plus.
They need a
I
lot
give it
of
an
work.
A. I think it's something they really
Y'all
need.
really make me seem like the Simon Cowell of this show.
No,
but,
no, I've given a couple C's out. I haven't given a D yet, but
I'll give it a C plus.
C plus.
I think they could have gone somewhere, whether it's Roquan Smith or somebody. I don't think a defensive tackle is going to change anything.
All right. Next up, we have the 12th pick. The Bills get Josh Rosen. They find their quarterback. I think he's an automatic starter in Buffalo.
I give that an A plus. Yeah.
I
they-
give it an A minus just
they
because
need-
Josh Rosen has a lot to prove.
Does have a lot to prove. That's what I'm
And
gonna
he
say B
doesn't.
plus.
And, I mean, he has some okay weapons out there. I don't know if he has the weapons he needs to win.
I don't know if but he's not. He doesn't have to start right away. We've got AJ McCarron, a veteran for him to sit behind and learn. So
that is true.
Not much to learn from, but yeah.
All right, third. Well, the Bills, they had two picks. They also had the 22nd pick, which was Rashawn Evans. So if you put those two together, I still have them sitting at an A minus.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that was a great pick for them, especially Rashawn Evans. That's great value for such a great linebacker. Very athletic.
A plus.
All right, the Washington Redskins at 13. They only had one pick in this year's draft, and they go Josh Allen. They get themselves a backup quarterback to sit behind Alex Smith for a couple of years.
Let's hear what Sean has to say about this pick.
That's a D. That's a solid D.
I give that a B.
I give it
That's
a
a
C
solid
I
minus.
give it a
D.
B plus.
I give it a C minus.
Why C minus?
And I'm a Josh Allen guy.
Well, you're also a Dallas Cowboys fan, so
I
you
just-
like the
I
idea of
I
that
just
guy
don't see
taking over
them
center, or
needing-
not only that,
yeah.
them not picking up any talent that they can use
I
right
just
away.
don't see them needing a quarterback right now.
I
don't see
just think drafting him for your quarterback of the future is A, too high, and B, a backup is too high for the first.
Mhm.
You could have gone defense.
All right, Packers. They only had one pick in this year's draft. It was the 14th. Calvin Ridley. They gave Aaron Rodgers the weapon he needs. I think with him and Jimmy Graham,
I
a
think
combination like that, that's a deadly combination.
I think he pulled a Barry Bonds and hit a home run with this pick. I love it.
I'm gonna go with a
Thank
C, solid C.
A+.
I'm gonna go A.
Aaron Rodgers makes anyone around him good. They have Devontae Adams, they got Cobb, they got Graham, like you said. I mean, they throw it to the running back a
Who would
lot.
you have
They got a
promoted?
tertiary receiver
They
to
need
rely on.
defense.
Who
Micah
would-
Fitzpatrick would have been a wonderful fit in that defense. You can spread him around in a lot of different positions. And
All right. So we have the Cardinals, just one pick in this year's draft, and they went Quentin Nelson. Connor Williams, offensive tackle, Texas.
I give that a B. I think they need a quarterback more, but
I'm
they-
surprised
they
to
need
see him
some
go
help.
over Quentin Nelson, but I mean, they definitely need to protect Sam Bradford. He's definitely injury prone. He's good when he's healthy, but it's just he's never healthy.
I give it a D.
I'd say
think-
solid B.
I
B
think
plus,
I
B
think
minus.
when you have Quentin Nelson still on the board, I don't think you pass him up if you're gonna go O-line.
Yeah, but I think they need more outside protection, like
Mhm.
blindside tackle.
I think they need a more of a guard because you have Johnson. You just pound it and pound it. And,
I mean, he pounds it, but he's also a guy you can just dump him off the ball and let him work. You know.
I mean, I just think you need more interior, especially kind of with the way the NFL is going with the big pass rush.
All right,
All right,
the
moving on.
Ravens,
Yes, sir.
16th pick. That's all they had. They got Quentin Nelson to protect Joe Flacco, open up some holes on the inside of the offensive line. I give it a solid B plus.
I would too.
I'm gonna give it an A. I think if that's a typical Ravens pick, and I think that's something they need, and it's a guy that you can have for a long time.
All right, Chargers. They had one pick. They went Roquan Smith, linebacker from Georgia. I give this one an A because it just adds to an already great linebacker core that they have out there.
I'd give
Definitely
that an
A.
A minus. Yeah.
Definitely A. I mean, how do you contain everyone? You know, on that defense, if you're an offensive line, like how do you plan that up? I mean, you can't
Even if-
double team them all.
Even if
Joey
two
Bosa.
rushes, if two of the linebackers rush, you still have one dropping back. They have three
Yeah.
great weapons in that
Oh, yeah.
front seven right there.
And he was really impressive second half of the Rose Bowl. I think that really solidified it.
All right, 18th pick, Seahawks, only pick they had in this draft. De'Aaron Payne, defensive tackle from Alabama. Or defensive end, he's kind of both. I give this one a B, solid B, because it's not the best, not the most needed thing that they had, but it is a very solid picture.
True. We
A
could
minus, B plus.
have taken a corner too.
I got a C.
A lot of versatility on the D line. I mean, you lost Bennett to the Eagles. I mean, and it's not an attractive pick. Sorry, it's not a sexy pick. You know, it doesn't excite you, but
Yeah.
that's the core of your defense. Is that defensive tackle?
It's not a
Yeah,
blockbuster
that's where I
pick.
disagree.
It's not,
I don't
it's not
think
a Baker Mayfield.
I don't think you rebuild your defense to just a defensive tackle, especially if Minka and then you Marcus Davenport, a dominant pass rusher on the board. I think they should have gone.
Well, he might have some
Yes.
trades in the works, and
I like it. Anyway.
All right,
Yeah.
next
Number
up,
19.
19th. Dallas is only picking the draft. They
The
selected
boys.
Minka Fitzpatrick, safety from Alabama.
I think that's
A
good
plus,
pick.
fantastic
Yeah, A.
value.
It's been about 30 years since the Cowboys made a good decision. I love this pick.
Other than maybe like Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith,
Uh,
Des
Deion,
Bryant,
Deion.
Michael Irvin.
Who knows? I'm a blonde, but
I mean, all those guys that won 5 Super Bowls.
I really like it. I'm trying to remember their defensive setup, but they use a lot of defensive backs. I think at some point they had like, I don't know, 8 out there at the field at a time. They
Yeah,
like to
they-
put them in at
when
linebackers.
When they go dime and nickel, they really have. They'll have 6, 7 DBs out there at a time.
Yeah.
we're older than their safeties and corners, so I mean they might as well add depth to it.
Well,
All right, Lions, only pick they had. They go with the 20th pick. Marcus Davenport, defensive end. Great pick right there. I'm gonna give it a B plus.
I agree.
I
I
think
give it
I
a
think
B
it's just
plus.
a solid pick.
A minus.
wow.
I think it's something they needed. On defense,
That
their
is something
offense
they
isn't too bad. I think it's something they needed on the defensive end.
Yeah.
All right, we have the Bengals only picking the draft, only picking the first round for them, and they go Lamar Jackson. They get Andy Dalton's replacement. I
give that a B.
give it a B minus just because Lamar Jackson is not that good.
He might be the third best quarterback in this year's draft. I love it.
He's the
It's
fifth
an
best. He's the fifth best.
Yeah, and Baker's sixth.
That's
But
a
that's
C.
No,
That's a
that's a
C.
B.
Because where's
Baker's
the
number
need?
two.
That's
Baker's
not
number two.
You're going to spend that high of a pick on a team that just made the playoffs the past season, not this past season, but the one before, and for
They
6
got-
season prior, and you're going to draft
we got-
a position that
They
they're not
got
going to
Cordy
start right
Run.
away.
They have they got 2 stud receivers and one we hope to become a stud with John Ross, and you have AJ Green.
You could
gotta
have
have
like a guard
and
or
you
a
trade-
center or a defensive
You
tackle,
you have him
linebacker,
sit,
safety.
You have him sit behind a year beside Dalton, then Dalton gets traded. He's the best Heisman winning quarterback
I
in
don't
this
think it
year's
fits the
draft.
system either.
But
He's not the best Heisman winning quarterback.
he's the best in this draft, yes.
The only reason
Oh
he
my
had such a
God.
great year, the only reason that Louisville had such a great year 2 years ago was because of their defense.
Yeah,
And
but
then when their defense disappeared,
he had a
so did they.
better year this year than his Heisman year.
yeah, so did Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, but you want to know who didn't win the Heisman 2 years in a row and disappeared? Lamar Jackson.
Disappear.
I mean,
Anyway, all right. So
All
moving on,
right.
number 22, the Bills. We already talked about them.
We'll
That's
go
an
ahead.
A-plus
Yeah,
pick.
Rashawn
we'll go
Evans.
to the Pats, 23 and 31. At 23, they picked Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker from Boise State. And
Love
at
it.
31, they picked Mike Hughes, cornerback from UCF.
I think
Really
those are both-
addressing that
yeah.
defense.
Great
Those are
value.
both good picks.
I think they get an A minus for
I
that.
give that an A. Yeah.
I give that an
B-minus.
A. B minus. Wow.
Why don't you like?
What would you
the
have
Pats?
done better?
I don't like the Vander
Why?
Esch pick.
He's the second best linebacker. Well, he's the fourth
I
best
think
linebacker. He was the best one available there.
I think Harold Landry should have been the pick or Jari Alexander.
Nobody can please Brad today. It's okay.
I'm a very unhappy man with
He's
exams.
the fourth doctor, and the 3 out of 4 doctors agree.
I have exams tomorrow. I am a very moody man.
We
All
all are
right.
at this time.
So, Panthers only pick in the draft right here, and they go at 24. Taven Bryan.
Mhm.
I like it.
I think-
Again, it just silences everybody.
I mean, it's once again, it's not an exciting pick, but it definitely, I mean, a defensive tackle, I mean, it's nice. He's going to plug up the running lane and the A gaps, so, and,
Solidify the
plus.
defense.
I think it's
I'd
C
give
plus.
myself
why
a
C
B plus.
I'm intrigued by this.
It's just
I
he's somebody that is not a first round pick. He's a second.
It's definitely a
I
reach.
can see that though.
Second, at the least, he's like a early third round pick.
Yeah. Mm.
I just don't see him coming off the
There's
board.
definitely a need for a defensive tackle for that team, though. I mean, does need
I-
warrant them
I-
to
I disagree.
get a reach?
You have Don Terry probably that is replacing Star Ladoletta or
Yeah.
Latulele.
Yeah.
Lutula. You have
I mean,
Perfect.
Dante Poe did have like what 6
Did-
sacks
did-
against Dallas.
deep.
Mm.
That was
Yeah.
that
Couple
wasn't
touchdowns.
Claiborne. Is Adrian Claiborne.
Either
Whatever.
way,
But
Anyway.
I give it a D plus. But
this man's dishing
I love it.
D's.
I am the Simon Cowell of the studio.
Don't
Big
trash
D
my
guy.
picks.
All right, Titans 25 only pick Mike Gesicki, tight end. I give this one a C. I just don't see that they need a tight end. They need defense, but they need offense.
I
Yeah, I'm
give
gonna
that
say
a
a
B
D.
minus.
I'm going to say a D. I mean, he's a wonderful tight end, and he doesn't even have a lot of experience at that. He was predominantly a basketball and a volleyball player in high school before he went to football. I mean, definitely athletic, definitely quick, good catching skills, but they need a lot of other needs. Definitely
I
defense.
think that he would be available in the
playoff
next
team.
round for them
Oh,
if
yeah.
they still wanted him.
Oh,
I think they had bigger needs to address here.
And there's good tight end.
I
depth
give
in
it a
this
B
draft, yeah.
because I made the pick, but that's pretty obvious. But I think Mariota needs be able to throw to
Cortland Sutton?
somebody.
Sutton?
I don't think he has the speed that you want. I mean, I think he's almost similar to what's his face from Carolina, the receiver from Michigan. But I think they just go Gesicki, who's a better and
All right, Falcons at 26, only pick in the draft for them. Harold Landry, defensive end. I give this one an A. He's a really good defensive end in this draft. One of the top defensive linemen in the draft, and it's something that they really need after.
I'd give myself an A, not only because I made the pick, but because I think it's good for them. They need to rebuild their defense.
A minus, B plus. Would have loved to see some secondary, although there's not a lot of secondary left.
I give it a solid A.
Oh man, an A from Brad. Whoa.
Yay!
Shocked.
All
Finally,
right,
it's the
Saints.
pick everyone likes.
27th pick,
I only speak the truth, but
Maurice Hurst, defensive end from Michigan.
Love it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great pick. I think that the Saints, like I said, their offense is looking good right now.
Their defense is looking good too. I mean, they love to hit the quarterback, and they're definitely a team that's maybe a couple pieces away from a Super Bowl run to end Drew
Yeah.
Brees'
And I
career.
think with what they already have there in New Orleans, add Maurice Hurst to that mix at defensive line
Build
wouldn't
on
add
D.
nothing
Yeah.
but add a lot of pressure to those NFC teams that they had to
I
play.
give it a B minus.
The tough judge.
I love it. The Russian
I think you
judge.
could have gone.
We were there for a second with an A, and then.
I think you could have gone DJ Clark because they just lost Snead, so I think there's a need at receiver.
All right, Steelers 28. Jari Alexander, cornerback. I think it's a solid pickup, solid B.
Yeah, I think
pick
it's
up.
a decent pick.
I give it an A.
I think it's something that the Steelers do need. They do
I-
need some help in that secondary.
I think with a lot of the linebackers gone, I mean, if one of them was slipped to there, I think they would go there, but they definitely need cornerbacks.
Jari Alexander is one of my favorite cornerbacks in this year's draft. I think it was a great pick. I think
All right,
he
those
slipped.
Saxonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
29 only pick. They pick up
Right.
Mason Rudolph.
Rudolph, the red-nosed Jaguar, very shiny.
He'll be a
I give
backup.
that. I give that.
You know, I give that
a
joke
A
a
minus.
solid C minus. I give the pick a D.
I give the pick a C plus. Blake Bortles signed long term. They believe in him. All the guys in the locker room believe in him.
He signed a 2-year deal.
I'm going B minus.
That's long
But
term
Mason,
for somebody
Mason
that's like
Rudolph
Blake
will be
Bortles.
there in
I
the
just
second. You
can't
can
see it.
trade back
Yeah.
up into the second to grab him if you want.
He's 6'5". He was one of the best quarterbacks in college this past year.
But he's the sixth best quarterback in the draft.
What bowl game you
No,
playing?
no, we didn't pick Baker Mayfield. We talking about 6 quarterback.
I mean,
we didn't pick
Baker's top 3 for me.
We didn't pick Baker.
All right, Vikings. One pick in the draft. At 30, they go Orlando Brown.
You know, I'm just trying to think where he's going to fit there. I don't know if they lost a lot of the offensive linemen this past year. Their O-line is good, although it did struggle against Philly in the NFC Championship game. But I think it's just good value. I mean, before the Combine, Orlando was predicted to probably be like a top 20, top 15 pick. So,
I think he's going to be a swing tackle for him.
oh, definitely.
And he's going to fill in if somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
And then come next year, he'll be a full-time starter.
You can even trade someone off that line.
I
make
think it's
room
a
for him.
solid B pick. But I think that what's going to end up happening is if they don't find anything that they like here, I think they're going to trade that pick.
Really?
That's true.
Interesting.
If he gets drafted before, then the Vikings might relegate themselves down.
I mean, what's a big
I-
need on that team besides
I-
offensive
Wide
line?
receiver.
Wide receiver, really? No Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen,
I mean, they're both good. But they need
Kyle
one,
Rudolph.
They need one more.
You know, I think if Dalvin Cook was healthy for that team, we'd be having a different story.
I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna get on me for this. I give it a D with who was left on that board. O-line.
Really?
You have Mike Galetti who did, and then you have Isaiah Wynn, and you have Billy Price.
I mean, Will Hernandez would have
Will
been.
Hernandez is
Ooh,
nice.
Hernandez would have been a
You have
beast
3
there.
offensive linemen that are better.
Especially at guard.
All right.
Orlando Brown's good.
So, we already addressed the Patriots 31st, so we're at our last pick in this year's draft. Eagles, Darius Geis, running back LSU. I think it's a great pick because they really, I mean, they had decent running backs. Jay Ajayi,
Yeah.
LeGarrette Blount. They have guys that are
Smallwood.
kind of in and out. They're really good one game. They're kind of here and
Yeah.
there. I think that this guy really adds somebody that can be consistent for them.
Definitely.
Yeah,
and
I
it
agree.
makes their offense even more scary.
And
Exactly.
they need structure at their running game.
He's going to thrive behind that offensive line, behind Oklahoma tackle Lane Johnson.
And he's going to open up their passing game even more. Because if you stop the passing game, you don't stop him. But if you stop him, you don't stop the passing
I
game.
tell you, that offense, you know, you can't stop it. You only can hope to contain it.
Yeah.
Yep. I think the only offense that's better than them is that one that's out there in L.A.,
Definitely.
the Rams. I think
Yeah.
that's the only offense that's better than them.
Can't wait to see that game this
It's
year.
crazy when we try to push players up on the board, you see good players fall down, and I think this is kind of what happened with guys who just kind of slipped a bit.
I had him going top
The
10.
drive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of good
I
players.
just don't think that there's a need higher. I mean, other than Saquon, like, that one surprised me. But I just don't see a need for a running back this
Yeah,
year. Like,
I could swap those. Because those are both